Alright, guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and happy fucking Friday the 13th, baby. Very, very happy. Besides Halloween, Friday the 13th is my favorite day. No matter how many times it happens during the year or if it doesn't happen at all, you get my fucking point. Very psyched for this day. I know we were supposed to get the Texas Chainsaw The Next Generation review this week, but since it just so happens to be Friday the 13th, I wanted to do something Friday the 13th related. And as you can see, I'm going to be talking about the many faces of Jason Voorhees and just kind of going through the evolution of the look of the character and just how I feel about the different appearances of him and whatnot. And it should be pretty fun. He's gone through quite a bit of different changes for better or for worse. And yeah, man, I'm excited. So let's just go ahead and get right into it with part one. Designed by Tom Savini. Really like this one. Obviously, it is iconic, being the first time we ever got the character. And yeah, man, I think he just looks fucking wicked. You know, you got that really deformed face and the fucking just gigantic head, and it's a really, really cool launching pad. Obviously, we didn't get this version of him very much in the film. Maybe like a brief flashback, but we're all familiar with this guy right here, man. Very, very iconic scene. I've made my opinion known multiple times that I really wish this was the ending scene of the movie. Just him dragging down Alice to the bottom of Crystal Lake and that being the end of the movie. But, you know, shit happens. Obviously, Tom Savini, a fucking legend of the horror genre for his practical effects, and in my opinion, even though it may not be the most intricate shit, some of his best work. So we go on to part two. I'm a sackhead Jason guy, man. Obviously, at this point, they didn't really know what the look of Jason was gonna be, and I fucking like this guy a lot, dude. I think it's scary as shit. Some of the shots they get with this guy in the movie, Friday the 13th Part 2, are really good. And yeah, man, obviously it's not the Jason we know and love, but I think Part 2 is a really fun movie. I think it has a lot of great kills, and I love the fact that we get a totally different version of Jason from what many people are used to. What I don't really like is the unmasked appearance. I do like that they still kind of try to stay true to the Tom Savini look of having the droopy eye and all that and the big head, but that hair, man, that what is going on, dude? But you know, it is what it is. Obviously, like I said, they didn't really know what the direction was going to be with that character. So, I can forgive it. Looks like he's about to take a big old bite out of her shoulder there. And then we hop on into part 3, where I'm not a huge fan of this mask, if I'm being honest. Respect where respect is due. Obviously, this is the first time we got the hockey mask, and I'm not going to say this is a terrible looking Jason, but if I'm stacking it up with my favorites, it's just not one of them for me personally. Obviously, overall, I think the look is cool. You got the green shirt, and it's a very iconic Jason. I'm not going to act like it's not, but just something about that mask. It just looks real long to me, if that makes any sense. You can really, really see it here. And, you know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just fucking nuts, but just not a real big fan of the mask. I will say, though, as far as the unmasked version of this one, not bad. I like the fact that we get the droopy eye, you know. Could do without the pig nose. Little little weird there, but you know, overall I'm not going to give it too much shit. And I got to say as well, I love when he runs out of that cabin. And I will say it looks a little different than the previous picture we just looked at, but I love that scene where he runs out of the fucking cabin and kind of cracks a smile, something we don't get a whole lot from Mr. Voorhees. But on the part 4, easily my favorite of the Friday franchise, and I gotta say this is probably one of my favorite looks for Jason. Obviously, you have Ted White playing him, a very big, intimidating man, which is fitting for this character, but what really puts this over the top for me is that fucking gash in his head from part 3 where he got the axe, and they maintain that here. Tom Savini ever the continuity guy, and I just really think it puts this look over the top. I love that they took the elements of his outfit from part 3 and incorporated them here and just improved upon it. The mask looks way more round, like a traditional Jason hockey mask that we know today, and I really think, as far as his iconic, like, image of Jason Voorhees, I think this is the first time we really kind of get it burned into our heads of what Jason is supposed to look like. Again, no hate on part 3, but just a little wonky. And I will say, as far as unmasked Jasons, this is my fucking favorite by far. Looks the most, Tom Savini definitely intended on an adult version of that child that drowned in the lake, and you can really see it there. Like, it definitely looks like a grown man version of that kid we saw in part 1. So huge props to those guys for doing that. Just a really, really fantastic practical effect. No time for our boy Roy in part 5, so let's go right into part 6. Overall, really, really, really like this look. There are some things that I'm not too fond of. I don't like the whole... I don't know, is the mask and all that looks pretty cool. I dig it. I think they made some changes to it. I think it works. Not a big fan of the whole, I guess we'll call it a janitor's outfit, the whole utility belt thing and all that really ain't working for me. But other than that, I really think this is a cool one. Not sure the decision to get rid of the two side chevrons. We just have the one red one up top, but it is what it is. Like the masked look. The unmasked look could be a bit better. There's just something about it that's not really clicking with me. Obviously, by this point, Jason's a full-blown zombie. I think they tried to play into that, but yeah. What did get it right was fucking part 7. Part 7 is one of the most iconic looks for this character, man. Just looks absolutely fucking insane. Obviously, we have that little broken piece off the mask where you can see his teeth and all that shit, and obviously his skin's all rotted, and the suit he was wearing is all decrepit and rotted out from the lake that he was spending a bunch of time in. And yeah, man, this Jason has a chain around his neck and shit. This Jason is I would wager it's probably one of my favorite looks for him. It's probably this one and part 4 are my two favorites. He's just so fucking wicked here, man. I really wish The New Blood was a good fucking movie because it fucking blows. But speaking of The New Blood, let's get into the unmasked look for Jason in that movie. It's okay. I get what they were going for. They're trying to fucking go with that zombie idea from part 6, and I get it, but to me, you should always stick with that original idea of him being a deformed child. I think that's the bread and butter with Jason. I can appreciate the zombie look, obviously, but just not my cup of tea. Then we get into part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Lot of people fucking hate this one, man. I'm not going to pretend it's one of my favorites, but I don't hate it like everybody else. I get what they're going for, having them be all soppy and wet from the lake and all that shit. Like, I get it. One thing, though, that I really don't like about this one is that mask, man. Just yellow as fuck, but nothing can be worse in this movie than this. What the fuck is this, dude? The worst look for Jason in an unmasked capacity I've ever seen. It looks like they bought a fucking baby doll from a Dollar Tree and just melted it. Just took a fucking blowtorch to it and then put it on Kane Hodder's face and said, yep, there's Jason. Absolutely fucking abysmal. But yeah, moving on to Jason Goes to Hell. Not one of my favorites. I think this movie's a lot of crazy fun, but I think the look of Jason kind of reflects that, but it's just not for me. The whole mask being pretty much embedded in his face at this point. I think it's a cool idea on paper, but it's definitely one of those things that just should have been left in the writer's room. Just looks like they're trying a little too hard. And yeah, speaking of trying too hard, they did not try at all when it comes to the look of Jason in Jason X. My God, what is with the fucking hair, dude? Come on. There's a lot of other aspects to this version of Jason that I don't fucking like. But for me, it all comes down to that pretty much full head of hair that he has. Just what the fuck. And then we get the Power Rangers villain. I know a lot of people who dig this. I am not one of those people. What the fuck, man? Just, I mean, he looks like a villain that you would see on that original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, dude. Yeah, it looks cool for a design, but for Jason, it's just that whole movie's outrageous and crazy, but it's just not for me, man. That whole movie isn't. I thought I'd throw this in there. That's the unmasked version that we get for 2 seconds in Jason X before he goes all, Mighty Morphin on us. Just looks like shit. I don't like it. And moving on to Freddy versus Jason. Overall, really dig the look of this guy. I love the mask. One of my favorite masks in the franchise. There is some stuff that bothers me. Way too much hair. Way too much hair on this guy. And beyond that, probably the worst thing about this look for him is the fact that he has a very charcoal complexion. I want some scarring. I want some rot with my zombie Jason. And this one, it looks kind of lazy. I don't know. It's just never been for me as far as that is concerned. But overall, I do think this is a good look for him. There's just some stuff that kind of really doesn't put it in the top tier for me personally. They carried a lot of Freddy vs. Jason over into the remake as far as the look of Jason is concerned, with the whole jacket and all that stuff. Overall, I think it works. I think it is an improvement upon the look from Freddy vs. Jason. But again, man, that fucking hair, dude. Come on. Like, what's going on with the hair? It just does not fit the Jason character. I'm just a bald Jason guy. I will say, though, as far as the remake is concerned, though, Sackhead Jason from the beginning sort of segment of the movie, absolutely terrifying. By far and away is better than the hockey mask version, if you ask me personally. I would have much rather we just had that throughout the movie. And we will end this off with our Never Hike Alone section / Never Hike in the Snow. Awesome look for Jason Voorhees here, man. Fan films always do, at least the real high budget ones, always do a good job of doing justice to the characters. And my God, man, I just think he looks so fucking scary here. You get a lot of what you'd usually see with a modern take on Jason with the jacket and all of that. We've really gotten away from the shirt, the long sleeve shirt era of Jason. But the big thing for me here is that mask, man. That mask is so fucking unique, but still stays true to what makes Jason Voorhees so fucking scary. But yeah, man, it's just overall, I really, really dig this one. I'm really excited for Never Hike Alone 2 coming out pretty soon, last time I checked. And yeah, man, that'll do it for my little trip down memory lane with the history of the different looks for Jason Voorhees. Let me know if you guys like this. I know this is a little different, but like I said, Friday the 13th, so I wanted to do something for our boy, Jason Voorhees. But yeah, man, let me know if you guys would be interested in maybe me doing this again with like a Leatherface or a Freddy Krueger or a Michael Myers or, go down the fucking list, man. I think this is a cool little idea. Obviously, I'm not an innovator or anything. This sort of thing has been around for a while, but I think it's pretty fun. So let me know if you guys would like to see that. Thank you guys as always for stopping by, supporting the dream, supporting the channel, and supporting me, man. I really appreciate it. So without further ado, take care of each other. take care of yourselves, and keep watching horror. Alright, guys. Have a good day.